All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says family-run parties are biggest threat to India's democracy. Elaborate arrangements being made for first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. 487 polling stations in 5 assembly constituencies in Manipur to be manned by women officials only. Tripura government launches special COVID vaccination drive for expectant mothers in the state. Kerala government lifts Sunday lockdown, schools and colleges to reopen from February 28 with full capacity. Special court in Gujarat to pronounce quantum on punishment today against 49 convicts in 2008 Ahmedabad serial blast case. India beat France 5-0 in the opening match of FIH Pro League 2022 hockey in South Africa. And in cricket, second ODI between India and West Indies to be played in Ahmedabad today. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahatsura. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News since 16th of August last year and will continue till 15th of August this year. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, during the Swadeshi movement, a painter depicted Bharat Mata as a calm, composed, divine and spiritual ascetic figure. Name the painter who was also a major exponent of Swadeshi values in Indian art. The correct answer is Abanindranath Tagore. He was the principal artist and creator of the Indian Society of Oriental Art and the first major exponent of Swadeshi values in Indian art. It created a new awakening and heralded a revival of Indian art. AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is Anselmo Subhash Fernandez from Goa.
I am Dr. Anselmo Subhash Fernandez from Goa. I am very much thankful to All India Radio for selecting my name for the quiz. I am a regular listener to All India Radio programs. The program broadcasted by All India Radio are very informative and educative, which people enjoy listening to them. The quiz conducted is a great attempt made by All India Radio to bring out the memories and efforts made by our freedom fighters to liberate our nation from foreign rule. My message to Indians, let us all work together to make India a prime nation and fulfill the dreams of our freedom fighters. My best wishes to All India Radio.
Congratulations, Mr. Fernandez from AIR News team. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, 14th of February. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday replied to the motion of thanks on the President's address to Parliament in the Rajya Sabha. He said this is a very important time to think about where to take the nation and how to take it ahead when it celebrates 100 years of independence. Mr. Modi said, in order to complete the resolution for this, we will need collective partnership and collective ownership.
आजादी के कालखंड में देश को दिशा देने का अनेक स्तर पर प्रयास हुए हैं और देश जब आजादी के 100 साल मनाएगा तब हमें देश को कहां ले जाना है किन किन योजनाओं के सहारे हम ले जा सकते हैं, इसके लिए ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण समय है और मुझे विश्वास है कि उससे जो संकल्प उभरेंगे उस संकल्प में सबकी सामूहिक भागीदारी होगी और उसके कारण जो 75 साल की गति थी उससे अनेक गुना गति के साथ हम देश को बहुत कुछ दे सकते हैं.
Speaking on democracy, the Prime Minister said that we will never learn lessons in democracy from those who trampled over democracy in 1975. The biggest threat to country's democracy are dynastic parties. When one family gets too prominent in a political party, political talent suffers.
अगर महात्मा गांधी की इच्छा के अनुसार कांग्रेस न होती तो क्या होता? लोकतंत्र परिवारवाद से मुक्त होता. भारत विदेशी चश्मे के बजाय स्वदेशी संकल्पों के रास्ते पर चलता. अगर कांग्रेस न होती तो इमरजेंसी का कलंक न होता. डेमोक्रेसी, डिबेट ये भारत में सदियों से चल रहा है और कांग्रेस की कठिनाई ये है, डायनेस्टी के आगे उन्होंने कुछ सोचा ही नहीं. और पार्टी में जो डेमोक्रेसी की बात करते हैं ना, वो जरा समझे, भारत के लोकतंत्र को सबसे बड़ा खतरा परिवारवादी पार्टियों का है, ये मानना पड़ेगा. और पार्टी में भी जब कोई परिवार सर्वोपरि होता है तब सबसे पहली कैजुअलिटी टैलेंट की होती है.
Highlighting the government's initiatives during the COVID-19 pandemic, he said the country is marching towards administering 100% doses of COVID vaccines to the beneficiaries. Mr. Modi said over 80 crore poor people have been provided free food grains during the pandemic. He said farmers have produced bumper crops and record procurements were made on minimum support prices.
The Congress has questioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi for criticizing it on different issues while replying to a discussion on the motion of thanks to the President's address. Talking to reporters outside Parliament, Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge said members of different political parties spoke on all schemes and government's actions during the discussion. He said instead of replying to those, Mr. Modi just targeted the Congress during his speech. Earlier, Congress members along with some other opposition parties staged a walkout from the Rajya Sabha during Mr. Modi's reply. In Uttar Pradesh, all arrangements are being made for the first phase of assembly elections. 58 seats in western UP will go to polls in this phase tomorrow. More from our correspondent.
In the wake of the COVID pandemic, all necessary arrangements are being made for the free, fair and corona-free polling. Polling parties will be dispatched to their respective locations today. 623 candidates are in fray for 58 assembly seats spread over 11 districts of the state in the first phase. Prominent political parties like BJP, Samajwadi Party, Rashtriya Lok Dal, Bahujan Samaj Party, Azad Samaj Party, AIMIM and Congress have fielded their candidates for this phase of election. Political parties have now shifted their focus to the other phases of elections in the state. Many senior leaders and star campaigners of different political parties will hold rallies, door-to-door canvassing and road shows to garner the support of the public. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will release party's election manifesto for Uttar Pradesh in Lucknow today afternoon. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP and its allies, Punjab Lok Congress, PLC and Shiromani Akali Dal, Sanyukt, have released their special 11-point Sankalp Patra for rural areas and farmers for the February 20th Punjab Assembly elections at Chandigarh. The special Sankalp Patra promised to allocate a budget of 5,000 crore rupees for organic and sustainable farming, free rainwater harvesting units to control the depleting water level and promotion of allied agriculture sectors. The Sankalp Patra was released by Union Minister and BJP's election in charge in Punjab, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, SAD Joint Chief Sukhdev Singh Dhinsa and BJP leaders Harjit Singh Grewal and Subhash Sharma. The BJP and its allies, while advocating the promotion of sports in the villages, also promised to give cash prizes on the lines of Haryana to the players who have won medals in national and international events.
Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra has announced that 487 polling stations in 5 constituencies of Manipur will be exclusively manned by women officials in assembly polls. These constituencies are Singjame, Sahobal, Yaiskul, Wangkhe and Churchandpur. Mr. Chandra made the announcement during his 2-day visit to the state to review poll preparedness. The CEC said the idea behind the move is to provide a pleasant voting experience for female voters and promote equal gender participation in the upcoming polls. Mr. Chandra said the Election Commission will provide postal ballots to senior citizens, COVID-19 patients and people connected to notified essential services for casting their votes easily. Assembly polls in Manipur will be held in 2 phases on February 27 and March the 3rd. Counting of votes is scheduled for 10th of March. In Manipur, filing of nominations for the first phase of assembly polls concluded yesterday. Scrutiny will be held today and the last date of withdrawal of candidature is 11th of February. A report.
The voting for 38th Assembly Constituency for 6th District of Manipur will be held in the first phase on 27 February. The nomination filing for the first phase concluded yesterday. 176 candidates filed their nomination papers for the first phase. Saikot Assembly Constituency has seen 9 nomination filing till the last date, while Hangang Assembly Constituency have only 2 nomination filing, including Chief Minister N. Biren Singh. Nambol and Thanga Assembly Constituency has also witnessed 1 BJP candidate and 1 INC candidate each filing their nomination paper for the first phase poll. Meanwhile, the filing of nomination papers for remaining 22 assembly constituencies is going on right now. JJ Thoksom, AIR News from Imphal.
In Goa, leaders of various parties including BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party and Trinamool Congress are making blistering attacks on each other to woo the voters in favour of their party candidates. Polling in Goa will be held in single phase in 40 constituencies on the 14th of this month. Our correspondent reports that leaders are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. A report.
While addressing election meetings in different parts of Goa, BJP National President JP Nadda said the party tries to represent every section of society. Mr. Nadda said the BJP is the only party to do this because other parties work on the basis of religion, caste and vote bank. Senior BJP leader and Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said the BJP has completed 80% of the previous manifesto. Mr. Gadkari said Congress leader Digambar Kamath should show how many promises he completed during his tenure as Chief Minister. On the other hand, senior Congress leader Digambar Kamath said Pramod Sawant-led BJP government failed on all fronts. Mr. Kamath said those persons will be punished who were involved in various scams during BJP rule in the state if Congress is voted to power. Senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party, Manish Sisodia said voters in Goa are looking for change. People want honest government. Krishna Kumar Lal, AIR News, Panji, Goa.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 170 crore 81 lakh mark. Union Health Ministry said over 95 crore 19 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and more than 74 crore 4 lakh vaccine doses given as second dose. It said more than 48 lakh 63,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The ministry said more than 1 crore 56 lakh precautionary doses have been administered to the eligible beneficiaries so far. Over 5 crore children have received the first dose and more than 91 lakh second dose of COVID-19 vaccines till date. Tripura government has launched a special COVID vaccination drive for expectant mothers to cover the left-out population that did not receive both doses of corona vaccine. Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Dev launched the vaccination drive at the Ban Kumari Information Centre located on the outskirts of Agartala city. Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister said the health services in Tripura saw radical changes after the BJP government came to power. Mission Director of National Health Mission, Dr. Siddharth Shiv Jaiswal said 100% eligible population has been administered the first dose of corona vaccine. He said vaccination of other categories are also progressing at a rapid pace.
Kerala government has decided to further ease COVID-induced restrictions and lifted the Sunday lockdown. The state government has also announced the reopening of schools and holding of classes in full capacity from February 28. Until then, all classes will be held with 50% attendance. Pinarayi Vijayan government also decided to open the post-COVID clinics across the state. It has asked the health department to see appropriate action is taken against private hospitals which have, without proper reason, given monoclonal antibody treatment to COVID-19 patients.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says family-run parties are biggest threat to India's democracy. Elaborate arrangements being made for first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. 487 polling stations and 5 assembly constituencies in Manipur to be manned by women officials only. Tripura government launches special COVID vaccination drive for expectant mothers in the state. Kerala government lifts Sunday lockdown. Schools and colleges to reopen from February 28th with full capacity. Special court in Gujarat to pronounce quantum of punishment today against 49 convicts in the 2008 Ahmedabad serial blast case. India beat France 5-0 in their opening match of the FIH Pro League 2022 hockey in South Africa. And in cricket, second ODI between India and the West Indies to be played in Ahmedabad today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back. You're listening to Morning News. In Gujarat, a special court in Ahmedabad will today pronounce the quantum of punishment against 49 convicts in the 2008 Ahmedabad serial blast case. Special Judge A.R. Patel yesterday convicted 49 persons in the case, while acquitted 28 accused. 19 bombs rocked Ahmedabad city on 26th of July 2008, which had killed 56 people and injured more than 200. More details from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
49 accused have been convicted in the 2008 Ahmedabad serial bomb blast case in Gujarat. This is the result of investigation by Gujarat police, which had not only solved the entire conspiracy but also broke the nexus of anti-national organizations in the country. There were a series of bomb explosions in Ahmedabad on 26 July in 2008, which resulted in death of 56 persons and injuries to more than 200 persons. Total 23 blasts took place in Ahmedabad on that day during the span of nearly 1 hour. Serial blasts were followed by a threat mail to the television channels from the Indian Mujahideen. Police also recovered 29 live bombs from various parts of Surat city. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Meghalaya, the banned militant outfit Trip National Liberation Council (HNLC) has once again decided to give peace a chance and are now open for peace talks without any preconditions. In a statement, HNLC General Secretary cum Publicity Secretary Sai Kupar Nongtham has stated that after receiving a lot of requests in the last few days from elders and social organizations, they have decided to give peace a chance once again. The statement further urged the government to immediately appoint an interlocutor officially and show its seriousness for peace talks. The outfit has been responsible for a series of bomb blasts in the city in the recent past. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember tribal freedom fighter Telenga Khadiya, who was born on 9 February 1806 at Gumla, Jharkhand. Telenga Khadiya was well known for his revolutionary thoughts, reasoning skills, and dedication to social service. He spearheaded the fight against the British in Chota Nagpur region from 1850 till 1860 against atrocities and land alienation of tribal people. From ages, tribals in Chota Nagpur region had been following the traditional self-governance rule of Padha system, and they were almost free from any kind of outside interference. But this autonomous self-governance rule was disturbed by the regulations imposed by the British during 1850s. Tribals were forced to pay revenue on their own land, which they had been preparing and cultivating for centuries.
Poor people had to lose their land when they were unable to repay loans. Telenga organized people to create awareness among them. He created Jury Panchayat in many villages which worked as self-governance rule parallel to the British rule. Telangana raised an army of around 1,500 people who were trained in guerrilla warfare. He attacked Britishers, their middlemen, and every other establishment of the British. British government wanted to suppress this uprising by any means, but Telangana was very alert and used to control its operations mostly from hideouts inside the forest. However, once when Telangana was conducting a meeting at a village Jury Panchayat, the British arrested Telangana and sentenced him to 18 years of imprisonment.
After his release, Telangana revived the struggle against the British. The information about his activities reached the Britishers and they made plans to kill him. On 23rd April 1880, when Telangana Khadiya was offering daily prayers, he was shot by a British agent named Bodhan Singh. Escaping Britishers, Telangana's followers buried his body at Soso Neemtole village of Gumla district. The burial place is known as the Telangana Topa Tand. This place is considered sacred by the people of Chota Nagpur. Every year on this day, his martyrdom is commemorated by the people and a week-long Shahid Telangana Mela is organized. Telangana Khadiya is an inspiration for his bravery, sacrifice and martyrdom. We salute the great freedom fighter.
जो मरवानो सीखी ले तो जीवन नो अधिकार तने जो कंटक ने रस्ते चाले फूलो नो सरकार तने सहनशील थे जो जीवे तो सत्य तनो शृंगार तने ओ नरवीर सदा मनशे आदरती मानो प्यार तने.
We also remember freedom fighter Manilal Patel, who was born on 9th February 1922 at Patel district in Gujarat. Manilal, along with his friends, joined the Quit India movement in 1942 during college. He took upon the task to preach the methods of Satyagraha to the people of the neighboring villages around Baroda. On 18th August 1942, after the Satyagraha, they reached Adas railway station to board a train where they saw some policemen approaching them. They were ready to be arrested, but the policemen, without any provocation, opened fire on them. Manilal died of the bullet injuries the same day. We salute the great martyr.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के. आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान. हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Helpline number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago. National Commission for Protection of Child Rights NCPCR has organized a national-level meeting in New Delhi on identification, rescue and rehabilitation of children in street situations with NGOs and UN agencies for seeking assistance from them. The meeting was organized in connection with Supreme Court's directions on the issue of identification and rehabilitation of children in street situations. NCPCR, as per its mandate, has developed a standard operating procedure SOP 2.0 for care and protection of children in street situations to create a convergence among the various functionaries and to ensure a more holistic approach in providing care, protection and restoration of CISS.
On to sports now. Olympic bronze medalist India began the FIH Pro League 2022 hockey campaign with a bang as they thrashed France 5-0 in the season opener in Potchefstroom, South Africa yesterday. India scored 3 goals in 8 minutes in the second quarter and then slammed 2 more in the third quarter before taking the foot off the pedal in the fourth period in the match. Harmanpreet Singh, Varun Kumar, Shamsher Singh, Mandeep Singh and Akashdeep Singh scored for India to start their campaign in South Africa on a winning note. India face host South Africa today in their second match. The match will start at 9:30 p.m. India time.
In cricket, the second one-day international of the 3-match series between India and the West Indies will be played today at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. The match will begin at 1:30 p.m. India lead the series 1-0 and will look to seal off things today. Vice skipper KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal have joined the Indian camp after missing the first ODI. Meanwhile, speedster Navdeep Saini is also back with the team after testing COVID negative. In the first ODI, India defeated West Indies by 6 wickets to take a 1-0 lead in the series.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have a generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 1 and 6 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 12 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 20 degrees. Leh is likely to witness light snow. Minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -12 and -1 degree Celsius. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between -1 and 12 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 16 degrees Celsius. National capital Delhi is likely to have rain or thunder showers with strong gusty winds. Temperature will vary between 13 and 22 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Minimum temperature was 14 while maximum is expected to be around 27 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Temperature will vary between 22 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature will hover between 16 and 27 degrees Celsius. Bengaluru will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Temperature was 18 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Shillong will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 4 and 13, while Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain.
In Manipur, the filing of nominations. And now an overview of today's newspapers. Papers have widely noticed the proceedings of Parliament and the PM's speech on their front pages. Emergency, 84 riots, dynastic politics. Modi targets Congress in Parliament for second day, writes the Tribune. While the same paper also quotes Rahul Gandhi in another story headlined, Just Congress bashing, nothing on key issues. The Pioneer also quotes PM Modi in its top headline, Anti-Sikh Pogrom, Exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, Congress Legacy. The Statesman reports 7 soldiers trapped in Arunachal Pradesh, Avalanche found dead. All dailies have also noticed the social media row over posts on Kashmir issue and subsequently Hyundai's apology to India. The Times of India says, Korean government regrets posts on Kashmir in call to EAM. And finally, for the first time ever, an Indian documentary has made it to the list of Oscar nominees in the Best Documentary Feature category. The Asian Age writes, India's Writing with Fire in Best Docu-Feature categories at the Oscars.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says family-run parties are biggest threat to India's democracy. Elaborate arrangements being made for first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. 487 polling stations in 5 assembly constituencies in Manipur to be manned by women officials only. Tripura government launches special COVID vaccination drive for expectant mothers in the state. Kerala government lifts Sunday lockdown. Schools and colleges to reopen from February 28 with full capacity. Special court in Gujarat to pronounce quantum of punishment today against 49 convicts in 2008 Ahmedabad serial blast case. India beat France 5-0 in the opening match of FIH Pro League 2022 hockey in South Africa. And in cricket, second ODI between India and West Indies to be played in Ahmedabad today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.